145 pounds, Grappler Fall Classic. We are back. Tony Greathouse here, MichiganGrappler.com. With me, I have Steve Wodzinski, Associated Wrestling Press high school analyst, JJ Johnson, Associated Wrestling Press college analyst. These guys are the smartest wrestling media folks in the country, and they're going to break down everything that you need to know about 145 pounds for this Saturday's Grappler Fall Classic. This is the 5th annual Grappler Fall Classic going down Kellogg Arena, Battle Creek. It's going to be an amazing day of wrestling. One day, everything under one roof, high school, middle school, elementary, riding time. We got full 2-2-2 periods for the championship matches. So not only are you going to see the best kids in the country getting after it, you're going to see them in full matches with riding time, college officials. You know, it's a great environment for wrestling, and 145 pounds is going to be a great one. We got top seed is a state champ out of Michigan, Foster Carmen. He's the favorite to win it, but Steve is going to break down the rest of the seeds that we have. 1 through 16, and then these guys are going to go through it and give you their expert analysis. Steve, what do we got? 145.
Number 1 seed, we got Fozzie Carmen, state champion, former GFC champion, way back in the day at 98 pounds. Number 2 seed kid, who I really like a lot, Logan Parks, had a great summer, Southgate Anderson. One of the most improved kids in the state over the past 12, 18 months or so. He's made huge strides. Finished 3rd in Division I last year, with his only loss coming to Justin Oliver of Davison, who's an absolute hammer. Number 3 seed, we got Colin Lieber, a kid who with a lot of upside out of Crosswell, Lexington, Michigan, Division II state runner-up last year. Number 4, Jake Tucker, really tough kid, Indiana state placer. Number 5, Amir Munasar, Melvindale, Michigan state placer. Number 6, Connor McDill, Utica Eisenhower, Division I state placer a couple years ago. Number 7, Andy Stray, Wisconsin state placer. Number 8, Cole Gonzalez, Norway, coming all the way from the UP to wrestle at the GFC. He is a Division IV state placer. I think he took 4th last year in a pretty tough weight class. Number 9, Tommy Fretwell, 2-time state qualifier, Florida. Number 10, Logan Merrick, 2-time state qualifier, Michigan. And then rounding it out, we got 3 more state qualifiers: Dylan Briggs, Corona, Michigan; Brad Stewart, Temperance, Bedford, Michigan; and Jeff Hines, Gaylord, Michigan. Then we got Kevin Beal from Ohio, Jared Bott from Swan Valley, Michigan is the 15 seed, and the last seed, kid I like a lot, freshman from Dearborn Heights, Annapolis, Dustin Gross.
Tough kid. All right, we got, obviously Carmen, probably the favorite to win it. He's our only returning state champ in the weight class. But like Steve said, Park's really tough. We got some other good guys. JJ, what do you see at the top of this weight as the guys to watch and some potential big-time matchups that you're looking at?
Yeah, so the top 2 guys, like you said, are the guys to watch: Foster Carmen, Logan Parks. A little bit different style-wise, but they both wrestle a pretty hard pace. Parks might be more developed physically. Haven't seen Foster in a little bit, so I don't know. The last time I saw him, he was a 25-pounder, so we'll have to see how he looks physically. But in terms of wrestling, I think they're pretty comparable, and I think it's going to be a good match if those guys meet the finals. In terms of before that, it's tough to say how it's going to play out, honestly, because I think, no disrespect to anyone, but I think 3 for 16, I think all those guys are going to be in the fight from 3 to 8, and I don't know how it's going to shape out. I think you've got a lot of good guys in there like Lieber and Tucker, and down the line, some of these out-of-state guys that I'm not as familiar with, like Stray. I don't know how those guys are going to do. So it'll be a good test for a lot of guys, and whoever does place in that 3 to 8 spot, they're gonna put their names out there, so it'll be fun to watch. Like Steve said, Dustin Gross, pretty high on for an incoming freshman. I want to see how he handles the high school stuff. So I'm
number 5 incoming freshman in the state.
There you go. So I'm pretty intrigued to watch him wrestle a little bit.
Steve, we got a lot of Michigan kids in this weight class. Who do you see out of all these guys? None of them have won a state title except for Foster. Out of the rest of the Michigan kids, who do you see in there that you could see winning a state title this year?
Logan Parks, hands down. He was a state championship caliber wrestler last year, 140. At least the top 4 was arguably the toughest weight in Division I. He beat Kevin Machert, who's a former GFC runner-up, just to take 3rd. Lost to Miles Amin in the blood round of Flow National. So I think Logan Parks is a slam dunk pick to be a state champion. Jake Tucker, not super familiar with the landscape in Indiana as far as who's at his weight. I think Indiana's really tough in the middleweights. I want to say that's going to be maybe Drew Hughes or someone like that. But either way, that's a tough kid who can make a run, especially in Indiana, where the It's only one division. And looking farther down the list, Cole Gonzalez, Division 4, Michigan, won a bunch of tight matches at the state tournament last year. Really good at winning those close ones. So he's a guy I could see making a push for a title as well.
Who do you guys got as dark horse picks right now that you see? I mean, obviously there's a lot of really 4 down, 5 down maybe are guys that are kind of all really comparable. Who do you see as a lower seeded guy that's going to really outdo his seed? Steve.
Dustin Gross, absolutely. Don't see him pulling the upset of Foster Carmen, but in the wrestlebacks, I mean, he could be a top 4, top 6 guy. Definitely.
Let's say hypothetical that the seeds change, which they often do a lot. You know, guys change weights last minute. Someone doesn't make weight. Something happens, and Gross ends up not being the 16 seed. Let's say he's above 15. He's 14 or up. Could he beat a 3 seed or a 4 seed in your eyes? Is he that good of an incoming freshman?
I mean, if you put Colin Lieber and Dustin Gross on the mat, I'm picking Lieber, but at the same time, I would not be floored or shocked if Gross wins that matchup. I think anybody outside of the top 2 seeds is really a fair game.
Well, that's saying a lot then. I mean, do you think he can compete with a guy who was a state runner-up last year?
Mm-hmm.
JJ, what about you? Do you see a dark horse pick other than Gross?
Yeah, so like you said, you never know how those guys are going to translate to high school. So you just kind of have to see it out. So we'll see how he does. But another guy I would have my eye on would be Dylan Briggs, the 11 seed out of Corunna. Pretty tough kid. He's a state qualifier last year. Had a pretty good summer. Wrestled quite a bit. So he'd be another guy I can see definitely squeezing into that top 8.
Who you guys got winning it? Foster, Parks, somebody else? JJ?
I got Carmen over Parks, but wouldn't be shocked if it was the other way. I think they're pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, same way. Feels like a toss-up. I think Foster's going to need a little time to adjust to the new weight class, so I'm going with Logan Parks. I think it's going to be a little more comfortable wrestling at 145.
All right, guys, there you have it. That's 145 pounds at this year's Grappler Fall Classic. Is it going to be Foster Carmen coming back getting his 2nd title? He won it back when he was a 8th grader, I think, at 98 pounds, back when it was held in Tecumseh High School. We've moved on to bigger and better places. Now we're in Battle Creek. See if Foster can get another title in Battle Creek to add to his GFC resume. It's going to be a great weekend of tournaments at all weight classes, especially at 145. Now you know everything you need to know for 145 pounds. You can see these pre-seeds on grapplerfallclassic.com, grappler.com, associatedwrestlingpress.com, and you can also see all these other previews for every single weight class, so you know everything you need to know for every single weight going into the Grappler Fall Classic, Kellogg Arena this Saturday. It's going to be a heck of a tournament. Make sure you follow it. Live results. Crazy amount of video coverage going to be posted all weekend long. Great matches as well as some great interviews. And you can follow us on Twitter at #MishGrappler, #GFC2014. And as always, we're going to #GetSome.